Jean, it's really an honor to be here. I mean, when I got that invitation, I was blown away and I was like, oh, wow, what a great opportunity. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And to all those who have joined us this afternoon, I'm going to put off my video so that you can really see the presentation. And please, we are in this together. So put your comments in the chat box as I go along, ask your questions, and we are going to work together to go on this beautiful journey to find out about building organizational resilience by adapting strategies for staff wellness. So I put up my video and I go into the real McCoy. Once again, welcome to this session. It's always an honor to be given the chance to facilitate. This will be approximately for 45 minutes. And whilst I was preparing this, I was like, wow, you know, I love quotes. Those who know me know that I love quotes very much. I love this one by Richard Branson. You know, it goes like, your organization, look at this. You need the people who work with you to ensure that your organization is a good one, is a resilient one. We are talking about resilience today. And as soon as I saw this, I started thinking about the willow tree. And I'm like, what are you going to do? How are you going to relate with your employees to ensure that in spite the virus, the pandemic, you will stay resilient? You will not only survive, but thrive as well. Yesterday, I heard NECA, and today I have heard all the other panelists say, you need to become resilient. You need to thrive, but you can't do this alone. You need the people you work with. That's why I love this quote. And I heard people asking previously, are the sessions being recorded? Yes, I've been told that the session is being recorded. So you are safe if you miss anything. And I've been introduced already, so I won't belabor that. But how is our time together going to be like this afternoon? We'll look at advantages. Yes, I'm talking about resilience. So we need to look at the advantages of remote work. Then we'll look at the struggles of remote work. Then I'll move on to talk about strategies for staff wellness, because staff are working outside. They are working outside the office. What are the strategies that we are putting in place to ensure that they are okay, they are sound, and they can help us build what we are trying to do? Now, and then we'll have time for questions and answers. It doesn't mean you cannot ask your questions throughout, but I will pause at the end, put on my webcam again, and answer questions that we were not able to answer during the session. What should you be able to do by the end of this workshop, the mini one that we are holding? You should be able to identify the benefits of remote work, explain the common drawbacks of remote work, and again, plan a wellness strategy for your staff, because it's about how to keep your organizations strong. So we should be able to start planning for our wellness strategy. At this point, I'm sure you're asking, what's in it for me? Why should I stay with Margaret in this session? You know, what are the benefits? What's in it for you? If you stay in this session with me and you start planning with your staff, you will have happier, better motivated employees. You will also create a positive work from home environment for your staff and build a resilient organization. Please tell me, have I given you enough reason why you should stay in this session with me? If I have, please type a yes in the chat box or use the reactions and give me a thumbs up. I'm waiting, please. Someone has given me the yes already. Jean says yes. Oh, now I want to see. Oh, I've got 3 thumbs up. Oh, who are those giving me the thumbs up? Thank you, you are encouraging me. Oh, yes, Jewel, Lola, thank you very much. Oh, wow. It tells me that I can go on because you are ready to flow with me. Okay, you know what? Let's have a poll. I want to know this. Do you have a staff wellness program? How many of you have a staff wellness program? And let's have the poll. The poll has been set, is up now. Please answer. Is a yes or no answer. If you have it, give me a yes. If you don't, a no. And then we will. So, okay, when it's done, please publish it for all of us to see. Ah, even got a we.
Okay.
Oh, a short description. If you have it, you know, in the chat box, Lola is saying a short description, and I'm going to give that description. But I've intentionally asked this because I know that if you have it, you will know, because you would have had a strategy. So if you don't know the description, then maybe you don't have it. I don't know. I'm just testing the waters to see who knows even what a wellness program is. So when we are done, could you kindly publish the results for me?
Doing that now.
Okay. So we have 43% say yes, and 57% of our participants say no. Okay, it's a mixed bag. So those who said yes are going to help me work through this, and those who said no are going to learn from all of us. And I'm sure maybe you may have bits and pieces of it. So let's go on this journey together. Have I given you enough reason why you should go on this journey with me? If I have, please fasten your seatbelts. We are about to take off. Let's go on this journey together. So COVID-19, we can't stop talking about COVID-19. It has changed the work we do, the way we do things. Previously, we said, oh, you know, we used to say, oh, this will be in the future. Now the future is here. And prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, remote work already existed, but it was in small amounts of the population. Most people did not do this, but now we realize that a lot of people are doing remote work. And remote work is a working style that allows professionals and employees to work outside of a traditional office environment, such as an office building, warehouse, or a store. You don't work in a warehouse, you don't work in a store or anymore. It is based on the concept that work does not need to be done in a specific place to be executed successfully. Whoa. So now I don't need to be in my office. Now I've moved. I don't work in my office. I'm working from home. I want to know how many of us are working remotely. If you are, please type yes in the chat box for me. If no, type no. It means that you are working, you are still in the office. Or if it's a hybrid, please type maybe, because I want to have an idea. Ah, no. Yes, working remotely. So Ellen says working, no. George says working remotely. Ah, Indy says maybe. John says yes. Okay, let's see what's happening. So we have one maybe, which tells us that people are also doing the hybrid sort of thing, where if maybe, Indy, if you could unmute yourself and tell us what's happening, your maybe, what does it mean?
Hello, Margaret. Thank you. So for us, we are running a shift system. So particular days of the week, we're in the office at different times. So for example, there's some people that will come in. There's a team that comes in on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and a different team that comes in Tuesday and Wednesday. So some days we work from home and some days we are physically in the office.
Ah, thank you so much. I always say that sharing is caring. Thank you for sharing, because now I realize that some people are doing that shift sort of system. And is it working well for you?
It has its positives and some negatives.
Oh, wow. I'm sure when we get into the breakout session, you will share with your colleagues. Thank you so much for sharing. So now let's move on to look at some benefits. I'm going to talk about building resilience, but I want us also to look at benefits of working remotely. I will give you one: saves commuting time and cost. Now, I want you to type for me in the chat box what you think some of the advantages are, please, in the chat box of working remotely. I want to know. Everybody wants to know. I want to know. Ooh. More time with family. Yes, Jane, more time, control of your space. Yes, Jewel, that's so true. Less distractions from colleagues and more work can be done. Well, yes, more work can be done. We'll also look at the other side. Yes, can I have some more? And then I will show what I also have. Oh, you guys are doing extremely well. You are giving me all the answers. Closer to the fridge. Oh, and I would like to know what is in the fridge. Jean-René, what's in the fridge? You know, but a larger pool of talents. Look at this. If you work remotely, we were able to, in my organization, recruit someone who was in Rwanda. But for remote work, I don't think I would have been able to bring the person, relocated the person, and pay that person. So there's a larger pool of talents. Now you can recruit from anywhere in the world, and you can work with anyone, any organization, no matter where they are, and full pay and benefits. I think someone mentioned it. I mean, when you work from the house, I mean, you don't take transport, you don't buy fuel. There's so many things you don't do. You stay at home and you don't even buy work clothes. So, and then it's been mentioned already by George, office interferences. And then you control your personal work setup. It's also been mentioned. And if you have, with persons living with disabilities, sometimes it's so difficult moving up and down. You set yourself up in your comfortable space and you are okay. Lower carbon footprint. I don't need to overemphasize this. And they extend the organization's functional hours, you know, because when you say you're starting at 9 and you close at 5, it's 9. It's truly 9 to 5, truly 9 to 5. Oh, have you thought about parking space? Sometimes parking space, where to park your car, that doesn't arise at all. But you see, even though these advantages exist, employees experience certain struggles that need to be addressed by organizations. And that's how come we are here and we are going to discuss. I don't want us to forget about the fact that there are advantages, but there are struggles. Look at this. This I got from buffer.com. The 2021 State of Remote Work. Top 3 struggles of remote work. Unplugging from work becomes a challenge, and that's 27% of the struggles. Collaboration, communication, people are not communicating with their colleagues like they used to, and it's driving them nuts. That's also 16%. And loneliness. Lonely, people are so lonely, and then others took up 41%. So today, I want us to look at unplugging, communication, and the loneliness bits, because those are the ones that help us. Those are the ones that help to ensure that our staff, our employees are well, both physically, mentally, psychologically, and are prepared to work and give off their best. A lot of people are saying it becomes difficult to unplug at the end of the workday during the year, where it's not possible to go and see friends after work, even though it's been, you know, in most places, you can now move around. We are not visiting like we used to. COVID has changed our lifestyles. So if you need your employees to show up and do their best, you must make sure they have adequate space and time to get away from their work and disconnect each day. So now let's move on and see, people are burnt out. People are burnt out. So we are talking about strategies for staff wellness. Now I want you to tell me in the chat box, those who said they have programs, what is your definition of staff wellness? What is staff wellness? Please put it in the chat box. I want to know. Everybody wants to know. I want to know. Or you can raise your hand, I will call you, and then you will tell us about what you understand by staff wellness. Good work-life balance, yeah, thank you. A way of checking in with employees to know how they are coping through surveys and small group discussions when providing support. Thank you very much, Lola and John. Any others? Is a hand up? Have I missed a hand? Let me check. No, there's no hand up. So it is steps to launching an employee. So when you set goals that will benefit both the company and the staff, I'm adding on to what they have when creating a wellness program. So you set a dedicated team to ensure that this is done. You want to ensure that the people who work with you in your office are okay. Ajoke says intentionally making sure that staff have a day of calls. Yes, it's part of the things you do, but when we say staff wellness, we mean wellness, 360-degree wellness, that it is not only about their physical wellness, but it is about a total wellness program for your staff, where everybody spiritually, if they believe in that, physically, mentally, psychologically, your staff are well. And because they are well, they have a work-life balance. You use these things to ensure that your staff have a work-life balance. So when your employees are based in an office, Lola, deliberately adapting to create a supportive, motivational, inclusive workplace culture. Yes, spot on. Lola, if you were in my face-to-face class, I would have given you a chocolate. Now I'm sending you a virtual chocolate. So, a virtual chocolate from Ghana. So when your employees are based in an office, you know, it's much easier to be aware of any habits or behaviors that may be affecting well-being. But if your staff are working remotely, you need to keep a close eye on how they are feeling and work to maintain a structure which supports their well-being. Now let's delve into the strategies that will help us put together a staff wellness program. Are you ready for that? We are going to work through it together. Yes, virtual chocolates plus no calories, Lola. Are you ready for us to work through the strategies together? If you are, please give me a thumbs up or please type yes in the chat box for me. I'm waiting. Yes, I see 2 yeses. Thank you. I don't know, Galaxy. I don't know who is using Galaxy 9. Jewel says yes. Jin says yes. Lola says yes. Yes, we are moving on. So let's work together. I always say I work with my participants. Yes, you all mentioned it. Establish work and personal time. You know, at this point where remote workers do not have the actual break, that is, you see, we used to take it for granted. We used to leave our homes. You will sit in your car and drive to the workplace, and you will drive back home at the end of the day. I'm telling you, that was break in itself. Now I wake up from my house and sometimes I say, oh, I have deadlines. And even before I brush my teeth, I'm behind my laptop working. Who has experienced this or who keeps on experiencing this? If you experience it, type a yes.
I'm sure everyone.
You see, so we are all in the same place. You know, it happens to us. Okay, I'm sure everyone, it tends to be hard to isolate work and individual time. Now, I don't have work time. I don't have individual time. Innovation implies that work is in every case not too far off. And you know what happens to remote workers? Remote workers regularly need to be responsive whenever to demonstrate they are working similarly as hard at home. Because bosses cannot see, because as employers we cannot see, we are putting a lot of pressure on our employees because they need to show to us that, oh, even though you don't see me, I'm working. Oh dear. You see, this absence of partition can prompt numerous remote workers feeling like they are constantly in work mode. And this adds further to any all-round existing feelings of anxiety. If your employees fall ill now more than we used to put a pre-pandemic era, please type yes for me, because there's a lot of stress. So you see, what we can do is to make sure that we show our employees that we trust them and edge cutoff points to their work. So when we are putting our strategies together, we must have cutoff points. We must impart how significant this equilibrium is. If we keep on insisting this, they will feel freed to turn off toward the finish of the functioning day and set aside that immeasurable, significant effort for themselves to re-energize. Please, it is important, it is critical. Let's look at this. So this is not the only point. No emails outside of working hours. Now we like to think that, oh, I work so hard, so I send emails at any time and every time, but there should be a cutoff point. So what are some of the things you can put in your program? And when you put your document together, no emails outside of working hours. So you can have, say maybe between 8 and 7, don't send emails. If you send emails, no, and put a note that I know it's late, I'm not expecting an answer now. Are we in the same place? Are we on the same page? If we are, please type a yes. I love this one, no emails outside of working hours. If you agree with me, please type a yes. I'm not seeing the yeses. Oh, Jewel says yes. Thank you, Jewel. Helen says yes. Yes, we need to do that. We need to do that. And also give employees rewards for disconnecting. John, thank you very much. We need to give employees rewards for disconnecting. Yes, is there a hand up? Or it was your yes? And Carol also says yes. We need to give employees time off for this. We need to reward them for disconnecting. It is essential to encourage and inspire your employees to set boundaries between their work life and home life. So you inform employees they must put those boundaries in place, and we should put it in a document. Send out company-wide email announcing a daily work cutoff time, or discuss the importance of work-home balance during meetings. Please make sure your employees are logged off the work platforms during out of work times. If they are sending emails outside of work hours, speak to them. I say, and those who are able to do it, give them rewards. A little bonus here, a little treat here, maybe a voucher to buy something from one of the shops in town, anything to encourage your employees to cut off. And then set a genuine example. There's nothing like setting a genuine example. You can tell them that this period you are going to the gym. You can send them pictures of you exercising. It's amazing the way our employees tend to follow us. If they realize that we are able to go to the gym, take care of ourselves, prioritize self-care and rest, they will also follow suit. So over the weekends, if you are doing that, you can send pictures on your group and to say, this is what I'm doing, let's do it. Or you could also have sessions for them. And I will talk about that later. So about setting the example, then set up regular one-on-ones. How many of us are setting up regular one-on-ones? If you are setting up regular one-on-ones, please share. Raise your hand. I will ask you to speak to share how you are doing this. Okay, there's no hand up. So if you are not having those regular one-on-ones with your employees, schedule that. You see, a crucial advantage of working connections is the capacity to go to someone for help. Should you experience any issues? At the point where workers are distant, you need to work more earnestly to keep a solid business worker relationship, so that if any issues do emerge, staff feel good to go to their supervisors for help. If we don't have that constant one-on-one, then they won't come to you. So George, please share with us. Sharing is caring. I will send you virtual chocolate for sharing. Please unmute.
I can't wait for the virtual chocolate. I think I'm not the one who's organizing this personally, but something I've seen happening in the organization I work for, which is Intellecap, is so our HR organized for an online, I think it's called an online counseling and emotional wellness coach. So each employee has an opportunity to log on, and you basically put down a short description of your issue. It can be anonymized, so they don't have to get your name. And then that person will reach out and you jump on a call, and then you maybe share what your issue is, and they can help you work through that. It's something that our HR manager took the initiative and started doing. And I think quite a number of people in the organization are now have jumped on board, and they're using that service. I'll put the link in the chat box in case anyone is interested, and you can check them out.
Okay, thank you so much. And that's something I was going to talk about, and I will still talk about it later on. Thank you so much, George, for sharing. Aside that outside coach, you should also, as a head of an organization, have a one-on-one with your employees. Thank you so much, George. Okay, we have 10 minutes left and we are going to go through. So provide an employee assistance program. That's what I was going to talk about. It can be an outside, just like George. George, you led me straight into this, so I'm not going to talk about it. If there's an employee assistance program, they can talk to coaches, they can talk to mentors, they can talk to therapists, so that they will help you, as Branson said, and the quote I used at the beginning, to run the organization, because a sick employee will not be able to deliver at their best. So please, if we don't have them, sometimes you don't have an organization in Africa that caters to all those needs. So you can look for different vendors to do this job for you. And let's not say we are too small to do this. We should be able to do this for our employees. And then breaks. We are working at home, but we should schedule breaks. So there's no 12 o'clock bus, but you should agree on a break. And during the break period, you know that your colleagues are on break, so you don't call them and give them work to do. These are so critical. And then set objectives. At this point where your workers are distant, it tends to be more earnest to monitor. You want to monitor their jobs. So this implies that remote workers might be working more earnestly and longer hours to stay away of troublesome objectives they've been given. Who has been given a troublesome objective? If you have been given troublesome objectives, say I repent, and encountering more prominent feelings of anxiety. So if your remote workers do not have any objective to work to, they will be deficient with regards to inspiration and feeling separated. So give them objectives. If you don't also give them objectives, we are saying if you give them objectives, please monitor and ensure you don't stress them. And if you still are not giving them, if you still don't give them objectives they'll be deficient and they may leave. At the beginning of the pandemic, I wanted to keep a staff. And to be honest with you, I felt bad saying go away. So I kept the staff. Now, if I'd known better, and the objectives were not up to what he was used to, he quit. Now, with hindsight, I said, I didn't treat this well. So now I tell people, and I'm preaching this, and undertake wellness and prosperity exercises. You can have this sometimes online, without day-to-day drive and going around A to B in the workplace. Is very well maybe hard for remote workers to remain dynamic. So you see, this can affect actual well-being as well as hugely affect mental prosperity. As exercise has been demonstrated to lessen tension and gloom, you can offer workers admittance to free online wellness classes or prosperity meetings. So you see, you can have this, you can organize this, and they'll go for online exercises. I'm exercising online and it's working for me. And then offer duvet days. You're supposed to present yourself to work. If you have a rough night, your your employee can talk to you. And then you see, you should have duvet days that they can take out of their leave anyway. They are just mechanisms that some employers may offer to let you take your annual leave at a shorter notice. So we know that we are in stressful periods, so we should be able to offer duvet days. So if you haven't been offering duvet days, short notice, you allow them to go on leave because it's stressful working from the house. And then you should be checking in with them. Check in with them. The hellos, how is your day? How are you feeling? And then implement flexible schedules. I'm saying this because people are working from home. So instead of, let's say we start at 9 and end at 5, you could say we start at fluid. You can start at 8 and end at 4. But if you have to send emails, make sure you send emails at a point where everyone else is working. And also because we are working with people who are not sometimes even on our continent, we've got to be flexible and find out if we will have meetings, have them at periods where everybody is awake and is working hours for everyone. The guy we are working with in Rwanda, by the time he is up and is 9, it's 7 in Ghana. So we had to shift our meeting times in a way that will suit all of us. So these are some of the things. These times, you've got to learn to be flexible. And please give them tools. Use smaller work tools. Use the smallest hardware for the role. Instead of giving everyone a laptop, use a tablet. This ensures that employees will require less internet. You can also give them, power banks. You can give your team members SIM cards. We are giving our team members money for bundle. You can give them chairs, ergonomical chairs to make them sit well at home. You do things that will make them feel comfortable, and it should be in part of your strategy. The tools, they are so critical. And that brings me to the end of what I wanted to do. We can't do it all in how many minutes, but I'd like to know, what are the key lessons? Please, the tools are important. What are the key lessons that you have picked up from this short period that we've been together? Please type your answer into the chat box for me. How I want to know, or you may also unmute yourself and speak. It's cutoff point. Thank you, Ellen. you need that cutoff point, Ellen. And whilst I'm waiting for the others, I was, when we started working remotely, I was big on the tools that I gave to them to ensure that work goes on smoothly. The chairs, the bundles for internet, and because in Africa we have challenges with electricity, the power bank is also important. I want to know your key lessons. Please, you can raise your hand and mute and tell us your key lessons. Lola says discuss boundaries and apply them. Yes, please discuss boundaries and apply them. I will keep on reading as we move along. But if you have questions, comments, or clarifications, put them in the chat box and we will look at them as we go along, because I'm looking at my chats. So I'm ready to answer your questions if you put them in the chat box. Please put your key lessons as well in the chat box for me. Jean says every small change by the organization can positively affect the well-being of the employees. Thank you very much. Yes, our course objectives, we said at this point, you should be able to identify the benefits of remote work, understand the common drawbacks of remote work, and create a wellness strategy for your staff. Have we been able to do that? If we have been able to do that, please give me a thumbs up, or please give me a yes in the chat box. I see the thumbs up. Yeah. John, thank you very much. I see your thumbs up. Yeah. And who else do I see the thumbs up from? Yes, Lola also gives me the thumbs up. Thank you very much. Carol has given me the thumbs up. Thank you very much. Yes, you can put your yes in the chat box as well. Now let's look at Lola says 10 thumbs up. Lola, you can't have 10. So next steps. Now let's look, please. And Elo says yes as well. Discuss with your team your next steps. As you go back, if you don't have a plan, discuss with your team, reach an agreement as to what and what not to put in the strategy, and write your strategy. When you write your strategy, implement it and review your strategy from time to time, because things keep on changing. These are my references. I will send them to, anyway, this has been recorded. So when you look at them, you can pick the references. And as usual, my name is Margaret Jackson. When I train, my training name is Her Royal Monarch. Others call me MJ. Those are my contact details. You can always call on me if you need more questions, clarifications on this. And thank you very much.